we tried to make the palace very special, very personalized and very customized, because we're trying to give you an experience that you will probably not get elsewhere. Everything is so hand-picked and done with so much of love and care and attention, and made with so much of love, care and attention by local artisan communities here. Channa had a very interesting take on how we should go about planning the interiors and the furnishings of the palace, and how he envisaged is that basically we have the Rani and this palace belongs to her. So what we thought of was, how would she think if she was doing up the palace? You know, we were thinking about her personality and how she would have done it up, and we thought that she would probably, you know, she's a very dynamic person who interacts a lot with her people and travels a lot. So what she would do is that have an eclectic mix of things from around her region, and that is what we try to recreate in the palace. We wanted essentially that the palace should be a good representation of the material culture of Odisha. So there's a bit from here and there within Odisha, because Odisha itself is so large, you know. And then we've extended the boundary a little bit to Bengal also, because Bengal is also very rich with its own artisans, weavers. So we worked extensively with the Sabai artisans from Baleshwar and with the golden grass artisans from Jajpur. We've used a lot of ikat fabrics from Bargarh in our collection. You'll see them in the cushions, in the bed runners, and at the same time we've tried to give prominence to some underrepresented art forms like the Kotpad tribal textiles from Kotpad and Navrangpur, and we've used them in these wall tapestries that occupy a large space in the rooms. We've also tried to use the dokra beads that are handcrafted in various parts of Orissa, such as Rayagada, Navrangpur, by artisans, by the tribal people of the region. And these are beautiful brass beads. And I think that is our parallel of royalty, you know. Mostly when we're talking about royalty, we would see a lot of brocades and zari, and this is our parallel of the zari brocade, which is the dokra bead. So one by one, you know, we see that the various districts of the state are finding representation in some way in the palace, you know, and there's lots more to come still.
What you come into when you finish it, or what you will come into when you finish it, is a place which is as close as possible to something that might have been built in the 18th century. The revival process started, of course, with a very good report that had been done by Intac, but in terms of getting it done, it was necessary to have local people do it. We found all the different kinds of craftsmen for restoring the plaster, restoring the timber, getting everything done as should be done in a conservation project. To the point of even using non-emulsion, non-plastic paints, we looked for cementatious paints that would allow for the breathing of the lime plaster and the part sort of lateritic walls that are part of this project. It's not easy to find different colors in cementatious paint. We managed to find the colors that we wanted to get. That's why you also find that when it finishes, there's not going to be a perfection, because it's handmade and the walls have to be hand rubbed, and the cementatious paint is hand painted, and it doesn't sort of self-spread itself. And what we've done is to use the cementatious paint and then use beeswax, liquid beeswax applied on it, and then very lightly buff it so that it has a sort of smooth, shiny finish, but is entirely natural and organic. What you come into when you finish it, or what you will come into when you finish it, is a place which is as close as possible to something that might have been built in the 18th century.